Taxes are the lifeblood of any economy, the invisible thread that binds citizens and government. Every year, millions of Ugandans pay taxes on what they earn, buy, and consume. Taxes are meant to be the heartbeat of progress through building of schools, powering our hospitals, and connect our communities through roads and infrastructure. According to the Uganda Revenue Authority, the country collected 21.25 trillion shillings from domestic taxes and 11.1 trillion from international trade. But behind the numbers lies a bigger question. Is Uganda's tax system truly fair? Do the rich and poor share the burden equally? Is everyone paying their share? And are taxes really serving the people?
Domestic resource mobilization today is more critical than ever, given the reducing donor support. That's why we see there's a lot of debts. Our indebtedness is going up. So it's important for countries, especially for our country, to mobilize resources domestically. And CRTN has been championing that, building, enhancing capacity at national level, at district level, and also sub-national level to enable tax officers, local government officials to be able to mobilize resources fairly and equitably.
A lot of emphasis has been put on sensitizing the communities on the need to pay taxes, why we pay taxes, and also being informed on how much they should be able to pay in instances for the taxpayers. And for those that are not paying taxes, why it's necessary to pay taxes. This looks at both folds for the taxpayer and also the revenue officers, but also as we collect the revenue, seeing where it goes as a motivation for the taxpayers majorly, to see what does it do, what services does this revenue provide, and how can they be made better.
Out of 100 disappeared taxpayers, 70% have succumbed to the pressures of heaping taxes on them without widening the tax base. Other than widening the tax base, you're widening the tax burden on those that have identified themselves. Where is the future?
Much as it is an obligation of every citizen to pay taxes, somebody will tell you, with this kind of government, everything is for free. Now that person then, if he's doing business and is making profits, he will remain a problem. Now, there are those ones who are positive when it comes to issues of paying taxes, but they have had issues related with they cannot see where their money is going.
Tax to GDP ratio currently is at 14%. Government is targeting 16%. The government aims to increase the tax to GDP ratio to 16%, but continues to fall short of collections. Despite frequent tax law changes, Uganda's revenue growth remains slow, and citizens have little to say in shaping tax policies.
It's important for government to have a bottom-up approach when they are crafting tax policies. As CRTN, we have been able to mobilize our citizens under the Justice Alliance Uganda to ensure that citizens have a say in the tax policy. But of course, government should also be active in providing information to citizens regarding especially the revenue cycle, and to ensure that citizens, through their members of parliament, know exactly when the tax policies are being crafted.
For years, Uganda's tax system has stood as a paradox, built to serve the public good, yet in practice, it often favors a few while placing the heaviest burden on ordinary citizens. Equitable taxation means a fair tax system where people and businesses contribute based on their ability to pay. Those who earn more or have greater wealth pay a higher share, while those with less pay less. The rationale is to reduce inequality and ensure everyone contributes fairly to funding vital public services like education, healthcare, and infrastructure.
I should have a good education. I should go have accessible health services. But I'm paying my taxes and I have to pay my health education for my children, and I'm driving on potholes roads. It makes me feel pain. So let the taxes give us the due services, goods and services that we rightly deserve.
Yeah, we see that we have many policies, but when it comes to implementation, budget implementation does not align. We need to see that for the taxes to be fair and equitable, it should be able to do what the citizens are requesting for.
It emphasizes progressivity. The wealth and profitable pay a larger share. Fairness. No group is overtaxed while others escape responsibility.
We just looked at the list of those that have been exempted, billionaires. Billionaires not paying billions. Yet containers of local Ugandans being auctioned because they are fed certain obligations to pay. You look at this list, you know that some people are hiding and not paying because they are politically protected.
One of the major biting issues that Uganda's domestic revenue mobilization strategy has echoed has been informality. I think informality bedevils the national revenue mobilization effort.
We say we have a big informal sector, but sometimes it's government being deliberate not to collect tax from some of these people. So being aware, it helps also increase compliance. Then the other one is around looking into all avenues. To one extent, sometimes we say government is looking for the easy way to collect tax.
Inclusive taxation ensures every citizen, businesses, and civil society has a voice in shaping tax policy. It broadens participation, strengthens transparency, and builds trust by showing taxpayers how their money improves lives. Such a system promotes development, fairness, and accountability, ensuring that public services benefits all, not just a privileged few. But in Uganda, this ideal remains distant. It's a case of non-quid pro quo. People pay, but often don't benefit.
Let the accountability be done. These people be collected. After collecting them, they tell them, let me say, per sub-county. In this sub-county of Kayoro, today we are going to do the annual outcome of how the money was used. This money went into this money went into this money. Then they will understand the meaning of their money, of the meaning of paying the tax. Because they are quiet, they don't talk, they are just there. If they were to tell the people about it, these tax collectors, the revenue authority, the district, the IRS, they are not saying anything. They are quiet, but they are picking money from the people.
Paying too many taxes also, it gives you don't have the morale to do the work about. And sometimes you also know business things. Sometimes they don't go, sometimes they go. So if the taxes are hiking, just find yourself doing nothing. We have children to pay fees, we have this and that. Have you seen? So if they go high, really, they should also think about us. Someone who comes from the village wants also to do something, at least. What services do they give us, apart from we ourselves doing the things? There's nothing they are giving us. We are just doing things on our own.
The community want physical, what they see with the eyes. They may not see that we are working on the drainages, we are cleaning the drainages using this money. For them, they want to see that, for example, street lights, that's what they are able to see face to face. These people are maintaining street lights. But they can also not know how much goes on that maintenance. Every pole you maintain, how much?
Mudwaliro tetufuna service emala. Nyinza okugenda mu ddwaliro nalwadde oba omwana yalwadde nentuka mu ddwaliro bawandika ddagala ate ngende ngule. Eddagala oluusi gy'ogenda kufuna panado. Ddagala nnyingi bakugamba genda ogule. Ate nga oluusi tosobola. Oddayo n'omira panado n'olaba ng'obulwadde bugenze mu maaso.
We have a new financial reform where all taxes are paid through IRAS, which is an integrated system which is online. And so that is briefly how we collect the various taxes as government. We have resistance from the taxpayers to pay. We have lockups, for instance, in the market, central market. We have rooms in the tax park, restaurant and others. But the taxpayers are reluctant to pay. Some have taken a year without paying. So resistance is one. The other challenge we have is a negative attitude by the taxpayers. They feel it is a burden by government on them, and that affects us.
You are speaking from the same landlord, rental tax. You are speaking from the same landlord who has his business there, income tax. For us, we go, we pick property tax. We pick from the same business trading license. We pick from the same person local service tax because they're in gainful employment. So a taxpayer feels is really burdened.
Uganda's tax system still reflects its colonial origins, built to extract wealth rather than empower citizens. Many of these structures remain today, determining how taxes are collected and who bears the greatest burden, leaving a lasting impact on economic participation and equity.
The policies should be corrected, not to undermine the small-scale business people, but they should judge according to somebody's business. They shouldn't just look at the business and they say this one is how much, this one is. They should look at you plus the business and how much you earn per day. It should be a dependent follow-up before they judge you.
Edda bali batambulanga mulyango ku mulyango ne balaba business y'omuntu bagenda okugereka nga bamanyi business yo nga bwe yenkana naye kati ogenda just ku division wali already ebintu biri kuli eri ku gundi mu computer kati ogenda wali ne banyiga computer n'obwogamba nti business yange ennaku zino teri mu maanyi.
We have had complaints. URA comes and collects, there is a tax they collect, and then the municipal also collects trading license. So they are saying, what is that? Why don't you collect at once? There is a need to harmonize the taxes so that they are not so segmented.
We have been consulting in the design of the current corporate strategy for the Uganda Revenue Authority, and that is largely to inform and to design a strategy that is alive to the circumstances and the challenges that the business community is facing, but at the same time design interventions and propose interventions that speak to the opportunities that we see in the environment where we are operating as the Uganda Revenue Authority.
Taxation system in Uganda is not favorable to the poor. When you look at the profit margin vis-a-vis the taxes we are charging these people, you find that the poor person suffers a lot. I will give an example on the issue of the businesses, especially if we are talking about a retail shop. We have classified these businesses in the perspective of location. Now, meaning we are not looking at the stock. If you have small stock and the other one who has a big stock, but you all sell at the retail level, you are paying the same tax. Meaning the one who has a big stock is of an advantage to the other one who is having a smaller stock. And ideally, it wouldn't be the issue of the strategic location. We'll be looking at the strategic location vis-a-vis the available stock in the market.
Even as we do the sensitization with taxpayers, some of them say, you're telling me to pay my taxes. I pay my tax, maybe I'm paying pay as you earn. But I go through potholes to come to work. I go to a hospital, there is no treatment, I have to pay for myself. I don't know where my duty bearers are even. The roads are not good, the health centers are not good. In terms of agriculture, it's still, information is not there, there are no extension workers. So those gaps highlight to you that there is something missing, the connection between the taxes paid and the services provided. That linkage is missing. So someone doesn't see the value of them paying tax when they are not getting the service that they expect.
Citizens will not feel hurt, should not feel burdened by a tax that they are paying. They should feel that it is my obligation, let me respond to it, and I get my services, and whatever the services I can be able to demand for it, I can be able to get. The comfort to pay that tax is what is not burdensome. When I feel discomfortable, that means I feel the burden.
We do pay the taxes, but after us paying the taxes, we are not seeing the outcome of us paying the taxes in our health facilities. Because when we go to the health facilities, you find we are also buying the medicine that we are supposed to get at a free cost.
On top of the other challenges of drugs not being supplied timely, drugs are also not enough for patients, because especially during rainy season and other seasons, we serve like even not only this sub-county of Ngwedu sub-county, but even the neighboring sub-counties like Wanseko Town Council, Bulisa Town Council, Kigwera sub-county, Bulisa sub-county. So we found out that the supplies we receive from national medical stores are not enough, and yet they were planned for only the other catchment population of 20,000, around 20,000. So drugs are not enough. On top of that, in addition, we have the challenge of understaffing. Health Center 3 level is supposed, according to the current structure, to employ 56 staff in different departments, but currently we are 17. We are 17.
Have got some buildings of leaders, the political leaders, whereby you find somebody can pay proper tax, but not paying it because he's a political leader. So I think you find the one who is just a market vendor, who is just selling a small merchandise on the road, that is paying maybe on a daily basis. Yet the one who would pay much and the government gets a lot of money, is not paying.
We don't have good shelter for our market. We always be disturbed by rain. At times we rain with our things. We do pay some small tax every month. Every month we are supposed to buy at least 6,000 per month. If the government build for us, we can be paying good tax.
We have our children who are studying in government schools, more especially those ones in primary. Our learners are not performing well. And you find that the teachers are not enough in school. You find the school is sitting with PTA to make sure that the parents contribute money that can manage to pay the licensed teachers.
When we are paying taxes, we pay in one pool. Government is big. Bulisa, we collect ours, we put in one pool. Mbarara, where they also put in one pool. But when the government is spending, it looks at the whole country. So you don't expect that for what we collected, the whole will come back to Bulisa. Another one will go to other districts. So that's why there's a problem. So people don't know that when you pay, we pay in the government, in one pool of the government, and the government is bigger, very big. So when they're giving services, the government does not look only to one place, but they look to the entire country. And that's why you find that there are other people who are saying, we are paying taxes, but we are not receiving the benefits, or they are not getting the services we expected to get.
Now when it comes to the issues of service delivery, I think the biggest problem has been that most of these taxpayers are not aware of how this money is utilized. Now for them, they think if I pay 20,000, expects the same services of 20,000 going back to the community, and which is not the case.
I would suggest let local revenue be manned by the district, by the local authorities. Why should I again send money to the single treasury and again you start requesting the same money you've received? It takes another good time to receive money, and yet you need to do service delivery in the community. So they should change the system of tax administration, like on the local revenue. Let local revenue be managed at the local government structures.
In Uganda, VAT and excise duties make up 62.7% of government revenue, while income and corporate taxes account for just 37.3%. This means the tax system relies heavily on consumption, placing the largest burden on ordinary citizens, while big corporations pay proportionally less. Furthermore, 13% of total tax collections lost through tax expenditures, 27,301 billion shillings for the financial year 2023-24. Tax expenditure in Uganda is another hemorrhage. In 2023-2024 financial year alone, 27,301 billion shillings, accounting for 13% of total tax collections, was lost through tax expenditures. Revenue lost from exemptions, deductions, incentives, and tax holidays, primarily benefiting corporations, foreign investors, and select sectors, often at the expense of ordinary businesses. Tax avoidance, capital flight, and corruption erode public confidence.
The too big to fail concept should not apply, because you are using taxpayers' money to save a dying big company when the small companies are not benefiting from the same. So the idea of you bailing out big companies using small taxpayers' money is uncalled for. Yeah. If it goes to the big boys, it should also apply to the small players.
The few Ugandans who pay taxes are paying on the behalf of the billionaires that do not pay. And if you look at the total amount of money that the people who come under this guys elude, you will find that over 70% of what is alleged to be adding value, in fact less than that, goes into value addition. They say these are raw materials. You reach the borders, they go to the stores, like next on the market. So you find that the percentage of Ugandans who lose their capital, who even have their goods auctioned, are not the billionaires. These are the middle class people who would be given capacity to grow, and unfortunately they do not.
Interventions like the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing solution are helping to identify the transactions that are happening within Uganda, and that is where largely activities that involve the exchange of money, income and so on are hidden. And if we are able to put a finger on any of these, we will do in many a way. We will have strides towards bridging the gap in the revenue mobilization effort of the country.
Issues of exemptions should be reviewed, should be made transparent, should be made available to anybody to get any information. Because as of right now, many companies, we are losing billions of money in the country because of foreign direct exemptions or holidays. And we are saying this information, you go to the ministry, you don't get it. You go to any department of the government, you don't get it.
While small traders struggle, large investors enjoy tax incentives, often with little oversight, aiding some to exploit loopholes to shift profits abroad, causing capital flight and billions of losses in revenue. Many Ugandans have lost faith in the system. They pay taxes, yet see little in return. At a local level, minimal revenue is collected, and the reliance on the national pass makes it difficult to deliver essential service.
The revenue process, how it works is, for example, the divisions, where they come up with their budgets, they collect their money, the money goes to the consolidated fund, but how they get it back takes a process. When they get it, the money is sent to municipal, then municipal sends it back to the divisions. Now, an incident is for end of year, that is in June. For all the monies they collect in June, we do not get it. We get it in July. So all activities, and this money is for a particular financial. So what you budget for in that financial year, you're not able to carry on because the money is sent in another financial year just because of that process. But if we're collecting and we are seeing this money and we are able to spend it within the financial year, so you find activities budgeted for within that financial year, you cannot achieve.
But there is hope. Siatini, Oxfam, and partners in the Justice Alliance are championing fair and inclusive taxation, a system where all contribute and all benefit. Justice Alliance believes equitable and inclusive taxation can fund suitable development through improved services.
Tax justice campaigners have been vocal in, yes, we want to collect tax from this point and that point and that point, more from an element of increasing compliance for taxpayers, but also having policies that are fairer to the taxpayer, and also bringing in that connection between I am paying tax, but ABC is not paying tax and yet we need the same service. To bring in that relationship of having fairness and everyone pay tax, and then moving from that to demand for the services that are needed in different places.
Achieving fair and inclusive taxation requires building trust and ensuring shared prosperity. Key steps include reducing reliance on regressive taxes like VAT, closing loopholes that let corporations and elites avoid their fair share, and investing tax revenue back into communities to fight poverty, improve public services, and reduce inequality.
Government needs to be following up on taxpayers who get eluded by the RINs. You get to know where is this and this company which was paid 3, 4, 5 years ago. Is it because they have changed the mode of business? Is it because they have been overshot by the high taxes? Ministry of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. We have the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. We have the Revenue Authority itself. All meant to pick these issues before they escalate it to cabinet so that they set one by one to reduce the cries and they reduce on the demonstrations.
The government has the policies that underrates some people. Like for example, the government, when you talk about the big factories and the what, those people, they should have paid more because of the pollution. Look at the pollution. They pollute, they underpay the workers, they get a lot of money, but they are undervalued.
It's also important for government to effectively and actively participate in the global processes around taxation. Today, the UN Tax Convention negotiations are going on. These negotiations are very, very important because that's where our taxing rights are being negotiated. So we need to work at different levels, at national level, but also at the global level, to ensure that we have that policy space to tax equitably, for government to be able to put in place equitable and sustainable tax policies.
A fair, inclusive tax system fuels development, cuts inequality, funds vital services, and serves all Ugandans, not just the privileged few.